People wear masks. I think probably all people wear masks at one time or another. But there are some people who are professional mask wearers. Okay, they're pros. They're usually manipulators. They're usually people who are taking advantage of other people or manipulating them in some particular way. They have an agenda, and that agenda is not necessarily like what's going to make you happy. they have a bad agenda, they have something that they're trying to get from you. The particular people that I wanted to point out are people that if you're aware of it, you can spot them pretty easily. And they're people who put on a mask. They put on a mask, and the mask is a mask that they think you want to see. So it's kind of hard to explain, but when you first meet somebody, if they are this type of personality, the personality is they're looking to get something from you. Whether that's admiration or something monetary or something else. When you first meet them, they will spend a lot of time studying you. Like when you're talking to them, you'll notice that they don't really say a whole lot. They watch, they listen, they assess. And then once they think that they have a pretty good handle on who you are, they will put on that mask whenever they're around you. And that mask is the face and the attitude and the actions of somebody that they think you want them to be. They're not really like this. That's not really them. They have adjusted to get approval from you. Temporary approval. Because if you can figure out who they are later on, you won't give them that approval. And they're very good at doing this. Very good at doing it. And when you get, like several people in a room that these people want to get something out of, it gets very interesting. You can watch them go from one person to another person to another person and change their mask as they're walking to the next person. So they're really not operating as a human or they're human, but they're not really operating as a moral, ethical, solid, grounded personality. They're not showing you their true selves. And they don't act the same with every person all the time. They're constantly changing how they act. So if you get in a room with one of these people and you watch them, they will start out talking to one person and they will have a particular way about them. You know, maybe they hold their body one way, maybe they talk, a certain way, maybe they look a certain way. But then they walk away from that person and they go to another person, and you can see the change. You can see the way they hold their body changes. The words that they say changes. How they communicate changes. The way they look changes. That's because this is not an authentic person. This is not a trustworthy, authentic person. This is a person who is trying to gain something from the people they encounter in a day. And they are trying to gain it by being somebody that they think this person wants. The harder you are to read and the less you speak, the less you give this person in the way of what you like and what you don't like, the harder it is for this person to manipulate you. They will get it wrong every time. And they will not be able to wear a mask in front of you that will work. It is shocking how many people there are. And you will also notice that these are typically specific energies. There are groups of people who are like this. And those people in those groups are they're not good at taking care of themselves. They're not good at being alone. Being alone is a real problem for these people because they have to face themselves when they're alone. I had a girlfriend back probably 30 years. I don't even know if she's alive now. She could not spend 5 minutes by herself. Could not spend 5 minutes by herself. I have always been a person who does not like to be around people a lot. I like my solitude. I like quiet time. I can do it for short periods of time, but then I need to get away and do my own thing. But this poor girl, she could not. She had a husband, she had 2 kids, 2 boys, and if she, on the off chance, found herself alone, she would be on the phone calling me or calling one of her other friends or, hey, come over. I'm by myself. She had brother, and she would call her brother. She could not spend 5 minutes by herself. That is a classic mask wearer. That is somebody who cannot face themselves. They have done so many bad things to other people that they cannot be alone for any length of time because they would have to face themselves. They will change the way they look to fit in with a certain group, and they will change back to another way to fit in with another group. And those groups generally are the same. They all act the same. They all do the same thing. And they are all doing the same thing to other people, which is predominantly using and abusing other people. It's a vicious cycle. So if you are in some kind of a situation, or you've met a friend and this is describing that friend, be warned. You don't know this person. You have no idea who this person is, and you need to get to know them, or you need to get away from them, because they will cause a lot of problems in your life. And if you are the type of person who is somewhat stoic, does not tell everybody what you're thinking, every word you're thinking, doesn't talk about your problems, those people, they can't read you. They can't figure out what mask they need to wear to make you like them, make you trust them. So they'll change. They'll try to change their mask. You'll confuse them. And if you do it well enough, if you don't let them know, you don't let them get too close, in the end, you will completely confuse them, and you will see them exactly for what they are. It may take some time, but you can see it right away. Every person has an intuition. You do not have to be psychic. You do not have to be intuitive, and you do not have to be able to read people to see these things. Your intuition, your spiritual team, your guides, they will let you know when you are in a situation with somebody that cannot be trusted. And you need to listen. You need to listen, because it can turn into a big problem. Even if you're stoic and you don't let them know, it can still turn into a big problem. And that's just somebody you don't want to be friends with. And unfortunately, these people, they do collect a lot of friends that are like them, and they do a lot of damage to a lot of people. So be careful. Blessings.